Hello, dear friends. This is Luce Fleury Levi, founder of Universal Grace Film Feminine Foundation. I hope you are well. I would like to speak to you today about who do you think you are and universal love. I don't know if you are like me, but it happens that sometimes some ill-intentioned people try to embarrass you when you follow your heart energy and you want to initiate and start projects or explain and share your vision. Some people are unfortunately trapped in a lower vibration, and they are connected to the lower self way of thinking. So because in their world, in the lower vibration, it is all about connection, ethnical background, social background, money. They see success as only loud, if you are seen as successful by in an ambitious way, because you are noticed, you are seen, or if you are making a lot of money. So they have a 3D mentality, which according to them, these are the people who are somebody. To them, we are not born equal from a natural right perspective, but we are born unequal because they believe that some people are born a bit higher than others, and this is why they feel entitled to rule others. So some of these people, if you are not coming from this 3D perspective, they fail to see your motivation, that as any other spiritual human being, you are totally equal, and that what matters is who you are inside. Yes, one could answer to this type of questions, I am who I am. We would be then in good fellowship, because obviously that's a way the divine is usually calling oneself. Yes, I am who I am. And the I am presence, the divine presence, is not always revealing to our world through rich, successful, and even religious people, or people with a PhD, okay? But sometimes through somebody precisely who can be mocked because of his or her humble origin, or because of his or her lack of academic education, or because of his or her ethnical background. There are always also many other ways through the centuries where, because we are obviously in a patriarchal society, and we have been under paterfamilias right law, hopefully these sort of things are progressively evolving, not completely changing, but evolving. But we have seen how women were considered as, who do you think you are? A second-class citizen, like a child without soul. And we have seen as well how, I remember when I lived in North London, we had a neighbor who obviously was abusing his girlfriend or his partner or wife. We never knew much about them, except that he was screaming at her at night all the time. She had to work full time, and he was cashing her money. So men obviously are using the liberation tool for women, which was to go and work, as an oppression tool, which is that they ought now to go and work, but give them the money, okay? In any case, so when she was coming home after a whole day of labor to make some money for him, and that she had to cook and so on, if she dared to say her viewpoint on something, he would scream at her and possibly hit her, saying, "Who do you think you are?" Okay? And very often oppressors have been using this language. For instance, when some so-called religious Christians went in Africa and came back with African slaves, and it was the same for centuries. It was, "Who do you think you are?" And we know about, it was so much, "Who do you think you are?" that some could not, were not allowed to sit in the bus. You know, we all know the story of the courageous Rosa Parks, who has said, "No, I am the divine. The divine in me is telling me that I should not accept this type of discrimination. I must make a stand. It's not only for me as a person, but it's for the rest of humanity. It's for the spiritual realm is asking me to make this stand, because the divine in me is about justice and truth." Okay, so I believe that we, many people who sometimes are not known or seen at all, are doing wonderful things, and to their contact, you see many miracles happening. And these people never want to go public. I mean, I have a lot of spiritual mothers like that who have been accomplished wonderful things, and they never wanted to speak about it. Even one of them never wanted me to. I wanted to write about her life, for people to see how wonderful, you know, the divine the love of the divine can be for each one of us. And she would not let me, because she didn't want to be seen as doing something good. She wanted to do good for good itself. Now, besides that, you have people who are, rushing on television, whatever, videos, etc., to go and tell them that I did this, and sometimes it's not even a quarter of meaning spiritually and humanly, as what some of these nurses sometimes, doctors, people who are on the field as humanitarian do. They are heroes, and they don't want people to see what they do. And other people are trying to make a lot of money when they tell you a bit of teaching, a bit of things, and they think they are it because they have a PhD. Of course, these people criticize the same attitude from religious people, saying, "Oh, it's right. Religious people are this, that. They think they can study theology, but they don't know God." They're doing the same. Same thing about obviously Mary Magdalene, because she was a woman. Whatever she could have accomplished, which in the eyes of Christ, she was distinguished as the best disciple, as the status of an apostle, because she is the one who he honored by showing himself when he was resurrected first. But she has been immediately pointed out as a prostitute. But, some are trying to make a big issue about that now and say, no, she was never a prostitute. She was a very kind of aristocrat, high level, a very rich lady, and very educated. My friends, it does not really matter, because some are trying to look down on Mary Magdalene because they pretend she was a prostitute, the vilest. And others are trying to say, we as women don't want to be identifying with a prostitute. We are far too upper class for that. No, it does not matter what she was, because according to the Christian faith, the gospel, precisely, the whole thing is about being born again. The whole thing is about Jesus came to cleanse our sins and make of us a new creation, a new nature in Christ. So I'm sorry, you're missing the point here. But all these people are only concerned about who do you think you are, according to a 3D materialistic way of mind, and not at all according to what spiritual realm is teaching us, is, what is the real truth spiritually. That's why you have the majority of the time a kind of distance, a disconnection between the 3D material realm and the spiritual realm. And that's why there is a lack of dialogue or communication. Communication is not possible because we use the same words referring to something totally different. And I just want to encourage you, if like me, you believe that with your heart energy and through your spiritual inner higher self, you are confided a spiritual mission, you are confided a humanitarian mission, you are confided, through universal love. And that's why I come back now to the title that I had announced, through universal unconditional love, benevolent loving kindness. This is the way I see Source Divine personally. There is a God, I think we'll all agree, that's his nature or her nature, that's the essence of God. Okay, so from this criteria, from this essence, if you have it in your heart, if you feel called to do one of these beautiful actions, you are anointed. The divine is in you. The divine is in you is what matters. It does not matter the color of your skin. It does not matter your social background. It does not matter your ethnical origin. It does not matter your level of academic education. What matters is that who you are, and the I am in you, the presence of God in you, is leading you to do the actions that, with the passion of universal unconditional love, benevolent loving kindness. That's what you have to consider. And you are guided spiritually by angels, whatever you can call them, spirit guides, ascended masters. It does not matter the way you call them, but you are led to go and share with the world this vision. So, my friends, I am, since very young, I have launched myself in very essential actions to help spiritually and through humanitarian work. And I didn't want to be seen because that's the way I was taught, and that's the way I personally believed as well, that one has to do good just for goodness, not to be seen, because it will cancel the good you do. However, my beloved husband, who is still, my beloved husband had not had, how can I say, a spiritual journey like I did from very young. So he came to the spiritual journey late in life, in a sense through me, after we met. And in life, we all have at times identity crisis, mainly when we are growing spiritually. Is not very easy because we are pushed by tests and trials very often to go out of our role, out of the 3D, so we can consider, yes, there's something else, the spiritual realm. So sometimes as well, we can ask this question, who do you think you are? And you can ask to yourself, who do you think I am? I don't know who I am anymore. And it happened that we married late. I was very often his spiritual inspiration when he had this identity crisis. And now that he's on the other side, it's the other way around. He is my spiritual inspiration. He's like my guardian angel and spirit guide now. So we are communicating all the time because now he's seeing the big picture. I mean, I could see it since young through revelations and spiritual visions, because I was given a spiritual gift since a child, But and I studied and I acted upon what I was asked to do very often. So I saw a lot of miracles in my life. So um, now I feel that it's very, very hard when you're grieving, even if you know that there is a spiritual realm and your loved one has been departing from the physical realm. But I am really so blessed, and because I know that his physical departure is pushing me further in the spiritual realm, to grow even further in the spiritual, in my spiritual identity, to find who do you think I am, who I am, spiritually, to grow spiritually. And he's been leading me actually at the time, even when he was around. He's been insisting for me to write my little book Miracles, because he told me, yes, I know you don't want to be seen, etc., for doing something good, but people around, it's a bit what I told my own spiritual mothers, because I said, it's not about you not being humble, but it's about sharing this precious information, because other people too, they need to understand what's going on, how anyone can see a miracle, what are the spiritual tools to help them grow. So if you would tell your stories, it would help people. It's not about showing who you are or who you think you are. It's about being, sharing experiences, spiritual experiences, for other people to grow as well. And that's what my husband told me. He told me, you need to share. And because I had already thought about it myself when I was asking my spiritual mothers to write, to allow me, if they didn't want to write, to allow me to write about their lives, I thought he was right. So I did write that book. And also, I never wanted to come on the internet, but I was invited on the internet. And I even felt a bit pushed into it. But my husband is still now pushing me from the other side and telling me to share these things with you. We are working together. We are still together. We'll always be together. It's sometimes not easy even for a couple, because you have times up and downs in a marriage, where mainly when you have deep identity crisis, it's not easy to see, are you right for each other? Sometimes you can doubt, but if you have love, universal and conditional love, benevolent loving kindness and integrity, that is going to save your marriage, your couple, because is the essence of God. And as long as there is always this essence of the soul divine in whatever relationship you are in, or whatever you do, you are safe, and you are not going to be going on in the wrong direction, and it will keep you together. It will keep you doing your mission. My friends, I wanted to finish by saying I have been a bit concerned for some of us on Twitter, on social media, because it obviously reproduces what we can see in our world, and how some are in the business, they are in the 3D, as I said, in the materialistic, lower self perspective, trying to use others instead of blessing others. And I find it extremely sad when I see this from spiritual charities even. They seem, for instance, to only retweet themselves, to only like what they do, their videos, they tweet, but they never share, and you never see them retweeting other people or liking what other people do. It's very sad. I'm trying to do the opposite, because I keep on retweeting other charities, other people. Unfortunately, some people and some businesses who are not in tune with my spiritual humanitarian message have been abusing me, my mission, through the years, by demanding retweets of things that I have no interest in. Or businesses who are making a lot of money are trying to get free advertising through people like me who are giving of their time for free to help a cause, a spiritual management cause, without ever caring about supporting them or, seeing how they are. And if you refuse one day to do to do the tweet, I have been abused verbally and I have to block people. I just want to say that it is very sad. I hope that, I have been lately feeling more vulnerable. When I see that Christ never asked for anything to anyone, he kept sharing and loving people and healing people, but he never asked for a donation or something. And there are some charities who are persecuting you, sending you emails every day, asking you to donate. Well, I never did that, and very rarely, when I was really, very vulnerable, I would ask for something and never got it anyhow, because people seem to kind of like to use you but not help you. That's unfortunately the 3D. You would say the 3D way of mind? No, because other spiritual people are the same, sadly. They're always asking you for things, but they don't care where you are at in your life, or if you feel vulnerable. They won't help you. They will just come and ask you more. And it's a bit like sharks who smell the blood when they see you are vulnerable. Instead of helping you, they want more from you. And I experienced that because I found myself in a very vulnerable situation when my beloved husband left this world physically. But I felt that I was continually demanded more instead of getting, any offer of help. I am not saying that out of bitterness, because I know God helps me and he sends me angels to help me, and he will help me. If sometimes I would find myself in a difficult situation, it's a test. I know it has a spiritual meaning. If Source Divine allows dishonest people to let me down at the last minute, or as it happened lately, or people not to be refusing any help if I ask for help, God allows it. And it's for my good, because he will turn it for my good. Okay, I know that. However, it's also a good place to study the character of people around you and see who is your friend, who is not. I think that also the worst thing is when people send you DMs and obviously you can't answer everybody. Mainly if you have a big account on Twitter, because you have all sorts of people sending you spam and different demands, and you can't help everybody. However, when you start a relationship via, tweeting each other tweeting or asking somebody to tweet for you, and you start a kind of communication via DMs, sending messages to each other, some people have a very, very, very sad habit. If they ask something from you and you are polite, you will answer yes or no. But if you ask anything from them, even very rarely, they usually don't reply. They forget to reply. And if, it's about them, oh yeah, you've got to reply. They keep pestering you. So unfortunately, all that is a way that sometimes the Source Divine is allowing us to observe behaviors around us. Is allowing us to see that on social media, unfortunately, even people who call themselves spiritual are not displaying the true essence when they are not seen, when they are not doing their videos, when they are not, with the light and the speakers, etc. They are not demonstrating the qualities of the divine essence. I myself sometimes certainly I'm also lacking. So I'm not trying to make an accusation here, but I find it, that's why I still retweet people who don't even talk to me, don't even answer my DMs. I still retweet some charities who would not have anything to do with me, or if I do anything for them, they will not even bother retweeting it or liking it. because they think, who do they think they are? They are it. And obviously, I'm not, so they deserve to have all the attention. They deserve to have all the money, all the support. But what I'm doing, my vision, my ministry, they think is only good for helping them, not to be listened to. And that's a bit, what many people who were chosen by a source divine had to face this type of behavior. We can see, for instance, starting with Jesus Christ. Who do you think you are? You are just from Nazareth. You are nothing, okay? And you pretend. And when he did miracles in front of everybody, it was always all turned as an accusation against him or belittled, as that doesn't matter. Same thing for many other characters, whether in the Bible, like David, who was also told, who do you think you are? You're coming here, when he was coming to fight, and he actually won over Goliath. Oh yeah, you're here because you're arrogant, you want to make a show of yourself, you want to be seen. So they always try to find you ulterior motive. Why are you doing that? Oh, certainly you can't be well intended, you can't be a good person. Is because that is only a sign of very low self, lower self speaking here. It's not, it can't be a spiritual higher self speaking. Is only because these people have a problem with the ego. We all need an identity. So ego, which is renewed in the Holy Spirit, which is consecrated to universal and conditional love, is good, because you need to have an identity. You need to know who you are precisely. Each one of us is unique, my friends. And that's what is beautiful when we come together. We are like this huge mosaic, and that's why I have been called to organize this multicultural international conference to define universal love. Okay, and so people say, "Who do you think you are to organize that? Who do you think? Why are you doing that?" Oh, well, no need to comment, since I have explained. I am very sad for this type of reasoning. I am not trying to point my finger at any individual. I'm not saying the name. I am just dismantling attitudes we can all have, and this type of attitude, it's a very, it's a big obstacle to any true universal love being able to produce good fruits among us. That's why some people say, well, you are stupid. My husband say, yeah, you are too kind, and people confuse kindness with stupidity, and weakness. And it's true, I can see that very often, but although I see it, I still carry on, unless really I find people extremely abusive and their message doesn't match what I'm doing. But I will carry on, because that's why I'm here, to help you to realize we need to help each other and love each other. There is nobody among us who can say, well, I am above you, or you are, who do you think you are? We are all exactly at the same, we all have, each one of us has the same value. The value of love is the same for everyone. And it does not matter if we are at higher or a lower level with our academic studies, or if we have what we see as a higher or lower level with the money we have, the wealth, the financial wealth, etc. That doesn't mean anything about our inner identity. What is going to stay when we leave our physical body is who we are inside, is our spiritual being. So, my friends, I'm not going to be with you very long, because I will soon, I'm sure, join my beloved husband in the other room. I hope I'll be able to keep on helping you when I am on the other side. But as long as I'm here, I want to open my heart to you in a truthful way, even if it's maybe difficult to hear sometimes what I have to say. Because, I am not, when I do tweets, my friends, It's not like I pay somebody or a service to do automatic tweets with nice little sentence and nice pictures, which I didn't do. I just paid somebody, an organization or a software or whatever to do it for me. No, I do it from my heart. Sometimes I don't do any tweets. Sometimes I do it according to what I'm inspired today, because I want to help. I want to share some from the heart energy, what I feel led to share as a kind of spiritual food for you, to help you in your lives. It not necessarily has to be for me. I think that, I could do lots of videos teaching whatever, but I only do it when I feel inspired to do it. But there are plenty of different teachings which are very helpful. And I want to help you to be built up inside. But I also have important things to share to help you. So I will finish now by saying that I hope that some of you who have been systematically not tweeting others, not, liking anything others do, and are presenting yourself as a spiritual charity or humanitarian charity, try to understand that what you are doing is important. And if you do it on your own, it conveys a kind of competitive, ambitious image, which is not, I would say, the right one for what you want to achieve. But sharing with others, allowing others to honor others by retweeting their videos or what they're teaching or putting a like to, is only going to bring you new friends. And then when you are friends, you're going to be able to help each other, because each one of us, as I said earlier, we are like a precious cornerstone or a precious diamond, different. Each one is unique, and we bring our own flavor. We bring our own unique perspective, angle. We can't see only from one angle, because universal, unconditional love, benevolent, loving kindness is omnipresent, omnipotent. So it needs all these angles to be seen in whole. We need to see the whole. We need to see all this unique perspective. And the problem comes when one angle is decreting. Oh, that's the only angle you should see. I am the only truth. You can all go to hell. We all know about that, don't we? We all know that it's a falsity, that it's a false way of seeing things, and it's a tyrannical. It's not nothing to do with universal love. So if we speak about universal love, let's behave like it. Let's honor the weakest, what we see as the weakest, because Jesus Christ was, when he was briefly celebrated, because the majority of the time he only had persecution and insults, he came on the back of a donkey. Don't try to go and, this one because, I just want to be seen with important people. Oh, well, if I show that I relate to that person, who is she? Who is he? Oh my God, what are people going to think about me? They won't see my mission, my charity seriously. I only should be with the kind of I should only be relating with what is seen as proper, like the who's who directory about finance or whatever you are dealing with, whatever you are specialized with. No, we are coming on social media not to buy Twitter followers. I never did. We never bought any followers. Not some are buying the followers, so you wonder why they come on social media, because social media is supposed to be about friendship and truth, and not about paying your way. But unfortunately, I want to add that I'm very sad for people who were born in a certain context where they were so oppressed that they only know how to oppress others because that's what they were taught. I don't think, as I said many times, that violence or violent revolution changed anything. It didn't change anything in France, and a lot of French people can tell you. It does actually make things worse very often. I believe that the real revolution is inside of you when you are growing spiritually. And you can see oppressors and tyrants for who they are, precisely who they think they are. They are brought up with wrong ideas, and they are the first ones suffering from it. So what they need is our prayer and our compassion. Yeah, I know if somebody is a criminal on a global scale, you would like to stop him because you don't want innocent. That's what my dear husband thought, and he was right. But to carry on being persecuted, I say the only thing you can do is expose them, because when you bring darkness in the light, it's not darkness anymore because the light is in it. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm exposing, from time to time, what I think is unfair, what I think is wrong, because you want to expose it not only to the victims or to the people who are like me, like you, trying to help, to make it a better world today, but you're exposing to the tyrants too, because they need to an awakening. They need to realize what's going on. Who do they think they are? That it's all a lie, because some of these people are also good people, but they were born with a stereotype, a type of dictature in their education, and they too sometimes can be prisoner of it. Even they sometimes can't even leave their background. If not, they're threatened to get killed. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I know personally some people in this situation. So I've always been following the third way, which I say the gracious way, which is not in duality, which is above duality. It is the way of universal love, unconditional love, benevolent, loving kindness, because that's the only way. And when you follow this way, you are not torn in a duality world where you've got the bad ones and the good ones, and you are nice to the good and bad to the bad. No, you're not like that. You are neutral, and you practice this love to anyone, because you know that potentially anyone can have a revelation and can turn. It's not about trying to improve. We can't improve, but it's through a spiritual revelation and power of resurrection, allowing the Christ-like consciousness to grow in you, to his nature, the hand nature of universal love, to grow in you, to become you. And the situation is that's the way we have to consider people. Who do you think we are? We are all unique, precious individuals. And we are all in a gradation corresponding to our choices, but also our education and how we have been trapped and conditioned by certain teaching which were not accurate, and which are producing heavy fruits in our lives and in life of other people. So we all need help and inspiration to realize if we are on the wrong road and stop and change. And I believe that the language of universal unconditional love is a language anyone can understand at any level of the society, of our society. in our global world. When I speak about defining and organizing now a conference in Folkestone, UK, Universal Love, it's not in a globalist perspective, because to me universalism and globalism are reversed, but it's not the subject of this talk, and I will explain that more another time. I just want to realize that we have a common universal traits, spiritual position and traits, which is that we are here because of universal love. And we are here for universal love. Some of us have lost their way. And so it's important to redefine, each one of us, what is universal love according to our precious, unique angle, to help each other to find our way back to universal love, which is our true nature. We were born in by an act of love, in a free, it's free, it's for free. Nobody had to work hard to be born, we were just born. We were given life. Life is a gift. And that's why I also speak a lot about the divine feminine, because this is part of the feminine, to give life. This is part of the feminine, to give, and in a gracious way, not because you want to get something in return. Just hope that this will help all of you, that there will be something for each one of you. And I will advertise about my conference in Folkestone, UK. So if you can come, please come. And if you want to be a speaker, don't worry about who do you think you are, because I will never ask you such questions. If you are sincere and genuine, and you have something to bring that is important to the conference, I will I'll admit you as a speaker, so you'll be able to be a public speaker at the conference. Anyhow, my dear friends, I think it was a bit long, so I just spoke from my heart. I didn't prepare it, I didn't make a plan. And I hope that this will help. Thank you for listening. Much love to all.